and then I went to the living room to say goodnight to my kids. I'm walking in there and I hear somebody talking about, yeah, Rude Boy and the Ska-tastics, and I was like, what is that? And I walk in, I look at the TV. My kid's watching Scooby-Doo, and there's a band called Rude Boy and the Ska-tastics on Scooby-Doo.
I kind of love that.
I absolutely love that. What's up, everybody? How you doing? Welcome back to the Punk Rock Review Podcast. Sorry for the lack of consistency. I'm doing some stuff. I'm working with some different people. I've got different guests coming on. Rob is still dealing with some family stuff, so we're not sure when or if he's coming back. But for the time being, man, I think me and Nitty are carving out a nice little corner here for ourselves. We're hanging out again, talking. So thank you for hanging out with us tonight. If you like these kind of talks and you want to hear more from us, dude, throw stuff in the comments, like the video, share it, whatever, man. But subscribe to the channel. I got all kinds of stuff in the description. If you want to check out my Instagram or my Discogs, you want to shop punk merch or whatever, feel free. If not, no worries. Thanks for being here. I appreciate it. What's up, Diddy? How's your night going? I know your night's going pretty good because we were hanging out on the stream earlier.
Yeah, it was great. It was a great stream tonight.
It was a fun time.
I definitely requested the lion's share of the music tonight.
No, but you had like really good picks too, though, man.
Yeah, it was cool. I was like, you know what I do sometimes on like Wednesdays or Sundays, I'll like just write down in my phone on my notes app a bunch of songs that, you know, I want to share that like hit me, and I'm like, oh fuck it, maybe some people will appreciate this. You know, it's new and you know, it's good music.
I mean, honestly, dude, I would say like if I was going to give you like a realistic percentage of songs that you hit versus that you miss, dude, you're like in the high 90s, man. Like it's probably 90. Like I would say, like realistically, like 90 to 95% of your picks, I enjoy quite a bit, enough to like write them down and keep stars next to them and like ask you about them again later. So, because there's so many bands out there, man. Like we all have our own individual tastes too. So we all like punk, so we're all under that umbrella. Sure. But then we all like our own little corner of punk, and so we all find different stuff. And some of it may be quote unquote mainstream, some of it may be Bandcamp, some of it may be like, oh, I only heard this shit on MySpace in 2004 and I got a screen grab of it. Check this weird ass thing out. It's a, you know, some bullshit recording. So it just depends, man. There's no telling, man. As an example, I was I don't know why this is an example, but it kind of reminded me of this. I walked into my living room earlier. So as soon as the stream ended, I went pee, and then I went to the living room to say goodnight to my kids. I'm walking in there and I hear somebody talking about, yeah, Rude Boy and the Ska-tastics. And I was like, what is that? And I walk in, I look at the TV, my kid's watching Scooby-Doo, and there's a band called Rude Boy and the Ska-tastics on Scooby-Doo.
I kind of love that.
I absolutely love that. I don't know what it has to do with like what we're talking about, but it just reminded me like, oh, that's right. that like everybody has their own little idea of what's going on in this.
Totally.
You know, this culture and community. But we're here to talk tonight about we each picked out 5 like modern punk and, you know, what, punk adjacent hardcore bands, whatever, right, that are like the top 5 right now, but within the last like 5 years or so, something real modern, something real recent.
The prompt was the top 5 albums or bands of the 2020s.
Yeah. So like they could start in like 2017 2018, but they need to be like relevant and putting out music now. I mean, you can't really, you know, put a they could only have been started in 2020, but you know, we don't want them from 2012, 2010. That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah,
you know,
definitely. Like
late 2010s and then relevant, putting out music right now. And I changed my list up a little bit from what I had last time. I think I have a better list, and I think you probably have a little more what do we call it? Like buttoned down.
I mean, the one I had last time was pretty buttoned down.
No, I actually really liked what you said last time. So I think what we should do is go back and forth like we did, and I want to let you start, and I'm going to shut up for a minute. I'm
going to replace one of the bands we talked
about.
For obvious reasons.
No. I want you to bring that band up because I'm going to approach it from a whole different position.
I mean, then in that case, it was hard for me to pick just 5, and the way that I kind of did this was like post-COVID bands, I guess.
Well, before we go any further, this isn't like a definitive top 5. We're probably going to have a volume 2 of this. Yeah. Maybe a volume 3. This is just top 5 new punk bands, quote unquote. But it's like, you know, is it really the top 5? I don't know. That's a really hard list to pick. So it's our 5 that we really like a lot. Volume 1.
the ones that stood out the most. And honestly,
yeah.
I prefer. I mean, if any of y'all want to tell me what your top 5 was of the 20,
please
in the comments below, do it, man. Because I want to be put onto some new music too. So
absolutely. Okay. This is one of the best things about the stream that we do every week is that I constantly hear new stuff, and it's almost always stuff I'm into.
Yep, that's facts. Do you want to kick it off, or do you want me to go first?
No, go ahead, man.
All right. This is one I think that Randall and I might both agree on. A band called Syndrome 81 from France. I really that record hit me hard, man. I found it on YouTube, and I've never heard a band like that before. I mean, it's just a perfect record. The way it's produced, the way it sounds, the guitar tones, the way the songs are written, the urgency of the record, the way they play. The songs are just long enough. I mean, it's a perfect album. It's, in my opinion.
It really is, dude. They're a cold oi band, so they have like oi music mixed with like new wave and
post-punk new wave kind of thing.
Post-punk new wave, even a little bit of goth sounds in there, but it's still like a oi punk band. And there's an album called Prisoners. I think it's pronounced Imaginaires. I don't know how to say that word.
Prison Imaginaire. You don't see the S in
I'm not going to attempt to do that, but what he said. But it is a perfect album. It's such a good record that I live in Houston or outside of Houston, and I flew to Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. No, I'm sorry, Pittsburgh. I flew to Pittsburgh to see them play. Now, it was a really good lineup, and I got to see a bunch of other bands that I really like, as in No Time was one of those bands. Shout out No Time. But it was Prisoner du Temps was in there. I mean, it was just a ridiculous lineup. But I flew out there to see Syndrome 81. I mean, that should tell you right there. They've only got, I think, 2 LPs and a 7-inch or something like that.
I mean, if you go to their Bandcamp, they got a bunch of splits. But that other LP that they have, it's like white and black. That is a definitive, like, it's got all their 7 inches on it.
Oh, that's what that is. I've got that. I didn't realize. I'm glad I have that then, because I don't have to go hunt down a bunch of 7-inch records. But
and then they have a full length. I think I was messaging with somebody from the band on Instagram for a while, and he told me that there's something else in the works. But
nice.
I think the bassist of the band, Jackie, produces a lot of.
Yes, he does a lot of stuff, dude.
So he actually like records them and is in other bands too.
Yes.
From that area in the north of France, and through Syndrome 81, they were kind of like the entryway to all these other bands and French bands for me. So I was on a big Europunk kick. In fact, I
still am.
Yeah. I mean, I love the American stuff. I mean, don't get me wrong, but like, there's just something special about like those like French bands in particular, and then obviously Spanish and other.
Dude. I'm telling you, I have enough bands to make like 4 or 5 volumes of this video pretty easily. So that would be your number 5, and this isn't in any kind of like necessarily ranking. It's just the number 5 for you. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So since you said French band first, I'm gonna go with the French band first. I don't even know what part of France they're from, but Rixe, Rixe. If you like Syndrome 81, but you want something a little bit faster, this band is incredibly melodic and catchy. It's a 3-piece, dude. I went and saw them play, and I couldn't believe how they commanded that stage, dude. For 3 dudes to get up there, I mean, it's like pulse pounding. It's one of those things where the drummer sounds like a drum machine, and then you see him play, like, oh, damn, that's a guy playing that. That's awesome.
Yeah, I think they recorded it on purpose. Yeah.
Yes. So, but it's like they're more of a straightforward oi street rock, like hardcore band. No breakdowns, not metallic at all, but like a faster oi street rock band.
Very straightforward stuff.
Really, really good, catchy songs. They've got, what is their album called? Let's see. Like,
they got a couple of releases.
They got a couple of things. Let's see here. Here we go.
Yeah, Rixe is fantastic.
They have Coupe et de Blessures. I think I might have said that right. They have a collection also that came out a few years ago. They've been around a little longer, but they're like really popping right now in the last couple of years. They have one that came out this year. It's TIR, like Tier Group. I think I'm saying it right, but it's an EP, and it's been on rotate for me. Like been in rotation for me since it dropped. I've listened to it so many times, dude.
Yeah. So I think Rixe started as a 2-piece, and then
shit.
Yeah. So the drummer used to sing, or does. I'm not sure.
He still sings quite a bit.
So So and then they got the guy from Lion's Law to join the band. So when they went on tour,
Wait,
that guy Wadi from Lion's Law was.
holy crap! Dude, that makes so much sense.
I think you took a picture with him, maybe.
Yeah, bro. I'm like, I seen him, and I'm like looking at him, and I was like, why do I know this dude?
Yeah.
And I was like, whatever. Maybe I don't know him. Yeah, the guy with the scar on his face, right?
Right.
Bro, the whole time I'm looking at that guy, I was like, man, he looks eerily familiar, and I was like, man, I might just be tripping, bro, because I got so many people that I've just met over the years once or twice that I thought I probably just met this fella. And he was all, hey, what's up, man? He's talking to me, and I was hanging out with Ryan from Liberty and Justice, and we were just kicking it. And I mean, my list tonight's full of like Oi bands, honestly, dude. There's one band that's not an Oi band on here. I've just been
on an Oi kick. I mean, I think that was your big thing the last year, you know.
Yeah. Well, the last few years has been like, you know, as I get older and my priorities shift a little bit, and you know, I get a family. When I was 20 years old, it was street punk, dude, to the end, bro. That's all I wanted to hear. Maybe some like D-beat stuff, but like it was real chaotic, fast, angry, pissed music. Right now, I want a little bit of melody. I want the topics to be a little different. I want to hear a little bit more about family and working hard, and maybe some light at the end of the tunnel. Whereas street punk stuff is not negative, but it's fairly what's the word, man? It almost is negative though. It's like pessimistic. But
it's
still,
like
the
world sucks. Like
it's like too realistic. It's like, bro, can we have like a that's why I like bands like Bouncing Souls, because they're realistic, but then they sing songs about like loving people and shit. You know,
Bouncing Souls are pretty upbeat.
I love that band so much.
Yeah, they're pretty great. I was gonna say, I think I was talking to a friend about this earlier. I mean, he's a skinhead. He's a Chinese dude that lives in Oakland. His name is Oliver. He's a super cool dude. He's been a skin for fucking ever, right? But he's the most
shout out Oliver.
Yeah, Oliver's a great dude. The most sharply dressed dude I know. You know what I'm saying? Like compared to like the other punks and stuff. I mean,
oh yeah,
just the fashion itself is, as I get older, becoming more appealing to me. And like, you know, fashion and music goes hand in hand, man. It's
I hate when people say that punk has nothing to do with fashion. I'm like, dude, it is all to do with fashion. What are you talking about?
It's an aesthetic, you know. You pick your poison, you pick your look. You know what I mean? You could be a Mohawk guy with like a jacket with studs on it, and a bunch of patches. You can be a skateboarder dude. You can be a fucking, you know, skinhead, like whatever you want, you know?
Right.
So you know, and he looks sharp, man. You know, he's got some nice Oxford shirts tucked in. Sometimes he'll wear suspenders and boots and shit. I'm like, jackets and vests. I'm like, you know, as I get older, I think that appeals to me more. In my 40s. Yeah. You know, looking that way is more respectable in a lot of ways.
It's still intimidating too. So you still send a message out when you look like that. Like, it's just, I mean, let's be honest, dude. A skinhead guy that's all sharp dressed, you still look at that guy and go, he might kick a hole in my face if I piss him off too bad. Like, yeah, leave him alone. It's still an aggressive look, but it's much more dapper.
It is. I mean, if you want to go for the softer side, you got like the mod style. You know,
I like that too, though, man. And I also like tracksuits, bro.
Cool, you know what I mean? Like, I think the mods and skins were battling at one point, right? There was that whole in the 60s and
so when I was young, I used to really like the way like street punk girls looked with the mohawks and shit. And then I hit like age maybe 21, 22, and I met like three
skinhead girls are beautiful,
bro. I met like three skinhead girls. I think they call them skin birds. I remember like
the Chelseas.
Like, oh my goodness, bro. I remember being like, oh, that's what I like. Didn't realize that. Had no idea. Thought I liked the Mohawk thing, which is the Mohawk thing is still cool, man. I still like a you know, street punk chick with the vest and Mohawk and some tattoos and stuff. But like, man, but yeah, the way that those folks dress is just super sharp, man. I would love.
I don't know if you feel the same way I do, but as I get older, like I think the Oi stuff and the more rock and roll kind of street rock and roll stuff kind of appeals to me more.
Yes, I mean it's
for a lot of ways, like that mixture of Oi and glam at times is pretty cool too.
Yes. Yes, a lot. I love it, dude. Yeah, dude, let's move on to the next band.
Sick. Yeah, Rixe is dope. Good job. By the way, if you liked Rixe, I just wanted to drop a little asterisk in there. The guy in the band, the drummer, was in a band called Youth Avoiders also.
Okay.
I don't know bands. They're you'd like them. I suggest checking them out. They're very it's just a fucking crazy like fucking punk band.
Nice.
Yeah, they're good. They're really.
We'll absolutely check that out.
I mean, he was in Rixe. He does good shit. I mean, I'm sure other bands are going to be good if he's in them, right? So, cool. I'm gonna go with There was a band actually. There's two bands from Canada that really stuck out to me. One band was called Schedule One, actually. Schedule One from Canada. You heard of
Okay, I don't know. I thought you were gonna say some 41, but whatever.
No. Schedule One is dope. Schedule One.
Okay.
They like Homefront have a very like wavy kind of sound to them. They're definitely more on the punk side than Homefront is. I first heard they had an EP that came out.
Okay.
I'm not sure where in Canada Schedule One's from, but they got a really kind of poppy, kind of like melodic. I wouldn't even call it poppy. It's very melodic, but they kind of touch on a lot of those post kind of wavy elements. And then they very recently released a full length, which is pretty killer too. Lots of like reverb on the guitars.
I'm interested.
Heavy guitars, super like melodic. I wouldn't call it oi. It's probably more like posty, kind of just punk.
Okay.
But they're really good. Fantastic band, and again, it's just one of many volumes of this list. But Schedule One is really good. Do
you have any songs or anything that really pop out to you?
Schedule One? Yeah. Let me
because I'm interested in that. I wrote them down. I've also got a band that I'm working with. It's not really necessarily for this list right now. I haven't heard their songs, mixed and mastered yet, but called Before Dawn, and they're members of Clip 45, Mad Sin, and Templars that I'm working with, and it's that like post-punky, new wave, dark wave style stuff with a little punk. It's cool. It's so I like the Templars, good,
which is interesting because the Templars going that direction, or at least members of that band, seems pretty appealing to me. Yeah. Schedule one song I would recommend. Paint It Red.
Paint it or painted?
Paint It Red.
Painted Red. Nice.
Yeah. I mean, they got a bunch of shit that's good. I mean, this is off their EP. They released in 2022, and then I think the following year, 2024, they put out their full length, which is pretty fucking good.
I just wanted to find a place to start. I'm gonna go check them out when we're done.
Yeah. You might be into it.
Clean in the kitchen. So
Schedule One.
Awesome, dude. Hell yeah, out of Canada, bro. Canada's got a lot of good bands right now, actually. There's a lot of stuff happening in Canada.
Yeah. A lot of them have a hard time making it down here because of visa stuff.
Yes.
I think Chain Whip had to cancel their tour.
Dude, that band is there's so many bands we could talk about right now. That band is so good.
Chain Whip's good. They're really
good. There's also one called Chain Cult that's really good.
They're from Greece.
Are they?
Yeah.
They're really, really good. Well, from Atlanta, Georgia,
ATL.
We got Rotten Stitches, bro. I talked to these dudes on the channel, and then I listened to their album a few times, and I was blown away. Speaking of street punk stuff, dude, if you like The Unseen and The Casualties, but you also like Iron Maiden, bro, they blend those two sounds seamlessly. If you're a fan of Starving Wolves, if you like the spiky hair, soda jackets, mohawks, colored hair, but you like shredding and good guitar, like good quality guitar writing. Their production's really good as well. Let me see I can't remember what label their album came out on, but it was a substantial one. They're really cool dudes too, and they're starting to blow up. But they blend like street punk and like epic metal so well, like in a way I didn't know. There's a band called Damage Case out of Dallas, Texas. That was they've been gone a long time. But when I first heard this band, I thought, oh shit, they're like doing what Damage Case could have done. But yeah, they have an album called Above the Ashes that came out this year on what label was that on?
Above the which one? Which band are we talking about? Rotten Stitches or the other one?
Yeah, Rotten Stitches.
I'm on their Bandcamp right now. It looks like they have two albums. One came out in 2016 and one 2014.
No. 2024 and 2022 are when their albums came out. Wait, it might be. Yeah. This one just came out. The Above the Ashes just dropped. Let's see. But they're anyways, they're from Atlanta. They're really, really good. They did the show and hung out with me for a little while. The guys are super, super nice. I believe their names were Jake and Jordan, and I called him Sam for some stupid reason. So my apologies, dude. But super, super cool guys. They've been friends with each other for like their whole life. And you could tell, man, when they did the show, you could tell that those guys were like brothers, man. And they're just like really, really nice guys. And I thought they were from California. When they told me they're Atlanta, I was shocked. But very fast, very pissed off. A lot of shredding, a lot of good guitar leads, a lot of licks, man. A lot of very good like metal riffage in there, but still put the punk rock attitude in.
You're suggesting the new record, the one.
You know what? Let me pull that up. I can actually. There's a couple of songs that stood out, but the whole record. It's one of those things where most of the bands that we're talking about right now, it's weird. Like I like albums. I'm an album kind of guy.
Totally, I'm with you.
But
that's right.
All the bands we're talking about, the reason I like them so much is because I can listen to their entire release without skipping anything. There's lots of bands out there that have 1 or 2 songs off an EP, or maybe 3 or 4 or 5 off of an album that are really good, and that's cool. I'll still listen to it. But when you have a whole 12-song album that's just front to back phenomenal, they have a song called "In Death's Eyes," and it's got Davey Tejas from the Casualties and Crumb Bums who does vocals on it with them. That one really stuck out to me. The Face Your Fears, the album opener, that one really pops out. There's a bunch of songs on here that are just really, really good. It's 12 songs, 30 minutes, super quick.
Nice.
Fantastic album.
I love it, man. I love it.
Me too, man. Me too. It's driving me nuts.
A couple of minutes long.
Do what?
30 seconds at the most.
Punk song. That's how I feel about it. Give me 1 second to... Oh, Charged Records. They're on Charged Records. I believe that's the dude from the Casualties.
Okay, hell yeah.
Yeah, so shout out to Rotten Stitches. Those guys are awesome, dude. Hell yeah, man. Moving on. What's your number 3, sir?
Moving on. Another band from Canada. I'm on the Canadians A. They're called Homefront.
I thought you might go there.
That one really stuck out to me. I heard them once. It was a 2021 release. It wasn't the blue record that I heard it first. It was the first 2021 record. The first track on that album really, really stood out to me. And then I remember listening to that record and kind of paying it no mind for a minute. And the other day, like a couple months ago, I was doing something in my house kitchen, just playing music in the background. And I was letting their blue record, the second one, play all the way through. And I'm like, holy shit, like who is this band? You know, and I went to I'm like, Homefront. I mean, I don't think I've given these guys a fair shake.
They're wild.
Yeah, I know. It's like, you know, you can listen to something once and it doesn't really capture you, and then you can like just be doing something, you know, you put something on or it comes on and then it just hits
happens to me all the time.
Yeah. So this band, I mean, they do punk in a way that's like not quite punk, and they do new wave in a way that's not quite new wave. They kind of meld everything together in this really cool way. You know, their music, they have like a lot of synths. They have like drum, like loop synthesizer stuff that they do on top of the drums, acoustic drums. Very reminiscent of like 80s kind of new wave, but also maybe like later era, like, I don't know. What's that band? Blitz kind of.
Oh, yeah. No, it definitely has some Blitz influence, but it's like new wave, but it's definitely a little more distorted and a little more up tempo, but it still has like the foundation of new wave music.
Totally.
And
songs are just straight up new wave though.
Like, yeah, no, they do. And they're good too, man. Like,
yeah.
So I actually listened to them because I was listening to Soft Kill.
Oh,
and I was like, oh man, this band's pretty good. And then I think I was on Spotify, and then I think the album was over with, and it sent me to another like random thing. Mm-hmm. And Homefront was what it sent it to me. And I was like, what is this? It's like a better version. No disrespect to anybody, but I was like, this is it's a little more, it's a little faster, it's a little more my speed, right?
Right. Yeah, totally.
And shout out Soft Kill. That band's great, man. I love those dudes. But I remember I kind of like both of them, honestly. They're both really good bands, but Homefront is the one that it stuck out to me because it was not just catchy music that was like punk, but it was like accessible. I don't know how to explain it. Like basically what you're saying, dude. I was like, man, anybody could listen to this and like it, but this is still a DIY band.
My girlfriend, who doesn't like punk at all, like really, like they're playing, she's like, oh, you know, I like this. I mean,
yeah, I'm gonna have to go see that show in December, man. I don't know if I can miss that one. I need to film that.
So yeah, it's gonna be a good one. I plan to see them when they come to the Bay Area. Well, they're just doing a couple of states, Texas and California, for whatever reason.
Isn't that crazy? That's wild.
Yeah, which I'm not mad at that, you know.
No, I mean neither.
No, Homefront is definitely a band worth checking out. Their songwriting's fantastic. The guy has a really cool voice.
Yes, I like his vocals a lot.
I like the way he sings. You know what I mean? He's got some chops vocally, and the band is just good, man. It's just killer songwriting, like, melodic, kind of like simple punk new wave stuff. So they definitely stuck out to me.
Homefront's a fantastic band. I'd love to hear anybody watching. What's your opinion of Homefront? I think they're great.
Yeah.
Awesome, dude. Moving on. So this is a band that's very, very, very important to me personally. I've worked with them before. I'm doing it again right now. From Minnesota, you have a band called Empire Down, and I don't know how to explain their music appropriately. I don't think. I would say just please go listen to it. They did a split with Liberty and Justice, and I put out that half of the split on a cassette tape. Let's see here. They're from Minnesota. When I first heard them, his vocals sounded like old first and second record Comeback Kid vocals with like oi music. It was. I immediately loved it. I was like, oh my god, this is so good. And
I'm looking at this album cover now. The red one, they're split with Liberty and Justice. Yeah, I recognize this record.
Yeah, and so I reached out to the guy. We talked. I had him on the show, and we just became friends, man. And I wouldn't blow smoke up anybody's ass, bro. This band is so good, and we're doing a split right now with them and Bullshit Detector, and they've got some new music coming out.
Awesome. And you're gonna release that's really cool.
Yeah, it's coming out on 31 Records. It's gonna be a 7-inch split. Dude, when I tell you that these songs they sent me, I was like, you know how like I felt like I was doing something special whenever he sent me those songs. I was like, holy, I feel like I am, dude. I'm doing some cool shit right now, man. I'm really excited and I'm proud of it. And I thank my community and my group of people, man, for all the support. But like,
with you, you know what I mean? There's a reason why they're sending you their music to put out.
I didn't used to believe that, but I think I'm starting to. I have the dude from the Havoc is like having me do his new band stuff, and I'm like, this is crazy, bro. Like, my brain is about to explode. But as far as like the sound, they do have a little bit of that cold oi stuff. You could tell they got some influences of like new wave and European oi and UK 82, but there's a little bit of a heavier edge to some of their stuff. Now there's a lot of reverb in their music, has been since everything I've heard, but his vocals are really good. They're like a yell, like a melodic yell. They really do sound like the clean Comeback Kid vocals from the first two records. I love John's vocals, dude. If you're watching this, John, your vocals are fucking awesome. Don't change them, bro. They're amazing.
Empire Down, definitely check it out.
Yeah, check out the song "No Shrinking Violence." That song I listen to it a lot. Like it's been on a lot of my mixtapes, a lot of my playlists.
That's one of your favorites from this one.
One of my favorites, man. They don't have a ton of music out yet, man. They've got a few splits, and then I mean they got an EP, a couple of EPs, and a couple of splits. And I'm waiting to see those guys maybe one day do a 12-inch. Maybe it'll be on 31 Records. I would sell all my personal records to put that out for them. So. It'd be amazing. But yeah, they're super fucking good dudes too. So check out Empire Down, Minnesota.
I'm stoked for you to release their music.
I am extremely excited and honored to be doing it. So yeah, we'll see what happens, man. It should be good shit. 300 copies, man, coming your way soon, folks.
So for my fourth one, I mean,
we're getting up to the spicy ones.
We're making good time, by the way. At this point.
Yeah, no, I was looking at that. I kind of like it. I don't want people to get bored.
Yeah. I feel like.
Well, if we're not arguing, we got to keep it at a brisk pace. If we're not bantering back and forth,
we're keeping things moving today. And again, like I'm just gonna reiterate, please drop your top 5 if you're watching this. You know what I mean? Or if you don't like something that we mentioned, like let us know.
if you think Empire Down sucks, let me know so I can.
If you think something I like, I'm not even tripping. There's a band called Warthog from New York City. They don't have many releases out. I don't think they've put anything out. They have a live album out for some reason, but they had an EP that came out in 2022.
Okay,
it kind of embodies American hardcore in a way that really resonated with me. D-beat. It's definitely got some Scandinavian D-beat influence in there. Some like. It's crusty as fuck. They're fast. They got a bit of like Motorhead influence in there with the guitars.
Yes, they do have a lot of that in there. Sorry.
The vocalist just like has this fucking pissed off snarl that he just kind of like comes at you with. It's like, they have a very New York kind of attitude and feel with kind of a crusty kind of European backdrop, you know?
Oh yeah.
I mean, that's the best way I can kind of put it. And it's in your face. The EPs maybe, you know, at times it can be a bit like metallic too, but overall it's a proper hardcore punk record. You know, not really metal at all. Yeah, they fucking.
I actually really like Warthog. It was funny because when you mentioned them, like, what are the odds that I've only put up maybe a dozen releases on my channel of other bands to like just showcase them, and Warthog is one of them. I put that up on the channel like a while back when it came out, and maybe not when it came out, but when I discovered it, which was probably 6 to 8 months ago.
Yeah,
and I totally agree with what you're saying. It's not a lot of material, but it's very impactful. Motorhead, Venom, mixed with like some just straight up punk rock and roll from the like, I don't know, 80s probably, maybe a little more modern than that, but it's got a lot of denim. I hear a lot of jean jackets.
Yeah, it's got some. It's got that riffing like.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's crusty. It's crusty too.
It's like blackened punk rock and roll.
Yeah, they're really good. I recommend you check out Warthog. They got a 4-song EP. That's the one I'm talking about. Although their full length is really good too. That came out. The EP came out in 2022.
They have a full length that's live.
Yeah, they got one from like.
So weird.
Yeah, I don't they wanted.
I mean, hey, whatever. If it's different songs, I'm willing to check it out. You can do a lot with a live recording these days. If you're a good enough band, you can make it sound really good.
The sound guy was like, "I'll give you a CD when you're done." So they decided to take like, you know how sometimes.
All right, cool.
And they're like, "Let's just fucking make a record out of this, guys."
I mean, why not, right?
Yeah.
Creative in 2024.
In 2019, they had a live album. Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah, great band, dude. Good pick. All right. My number 4 or 2, whatever you want to call it. Straight out of Houston, Texas, man. We're gonna go with Liberty and Justice.
Okay.
This band they're very good friends of mine. I kind of started my label and stuff, but it was already kind of too late to work with these dudes. They've already been around for long enough, and they've got enough material out there. And I think they're just, dude, they're constantly putting stuff out and touring. I'm so proud of these guys. But it's the craziest thing, man. Their first album is, when I heard it, it blew my socks off. I was like, this is amazing. I don't remember what year it came out, but they've been around for probably about, I don't know exactly how long, but I've been aware of them for like 5 years. Their first LP, I was like, oh, this is really, really good. And I was just like, damn, this is awesome. And I knew all the guys in the band. I'd played in bands with most of them. The guy that does all their recording is a guy I've known since I was like 5 years old. And so I'm like, these are the homies, dude. And I was like, dude, this is really good. And then they put out a second LP. And when I heard it, I did a review on it on my old channel. And I got emotional, man. It sounded like the kind of quality album that you would hear on like Hellcat in the early 2000s. It was so good that I was like, why is this not huge? And then I was like, dude, there's no way they're going to be able to make a better record than this. And then they come out with like a split with Empire Down. And I'm like, holy shit, they got better. Then they have an EP come out. I'm like, what the fuck? They just dropped another EP. They keep getting better and better and better and better. And I love this band. I think they should be huge, dude. If you're not out, if you like street rock, pub rock, bobber rock, punk rock, oi, you like any of that shit? You like ska, Hellcat music stuff, Rancid, go listen to Liberty and Justice and tell me you don't like it. Dude, the vocals are on point. The recording quality is wonderful. They don't get stale at all because they keep evolving their sound just a little bit with each release to where, like, there's no boredom. They're just getting better and better and better, and they're fantastic live, dude. Ryan brings it when they fucking play live, dude. And I'm going to talk about somebody else in this band here in a little bit, but Richard, who plays guitar with them, fucking they bring it, dude. They shred. They're awesome. And they're all a bunch of, like, super sweet, scary motherfuckers. Like, it's interesting, man. It's they're all completely covered in tattoos, and I mean completely covered, head to toe, like covered in tattoos, right? And then they're like, hey, what's up, man? Shake your hand. And you're like, fuck, these guys are awesome, dude. And I've known Ryan for over 20 years. So like, and I think I've known Richard for 20 years. I've seen
your interview with him. He seems like a cool cat.
Dude, they're my fucking brothers, dude. I would do just about anything for these guys. And I mean anything, bro. Like, not much I wouldn't do for these guys. And I mean, Ryan is an inspiration to help me get sober. So like, that matters a lot to me. And that, has nothing to do with his music. The music's just good on its own. But like, I was anxious when I knew he was putting out new music, and I've loved everything he's ever put out. He did a band called 10 Crowns, amazing hardcore band, and it's like beat down heavy hardcore. He did I Am Wolf, amazing, like dirty ass rock and roll. I'm not at all surprised that this band's good. His vocals are some of my favorite in Houston of all time.
Are they going
And
on
I'm
tour
about-
soon? Do they play?
Do
out
they
a lot?
all the time, bro? They just went and did Europe, bro.
Okay.
Yeah, and I'm about to do a top 10 Texas punk bands video.
Oh shit.
Be prepared. They're on that list, man. Like that, they're so good, dude. They're so fucking good.
That's incredible.
Yeah, man. And before I do my number one, I'll do a couple of shout outs because I have a couple of honorable mentions. Actually, you know what? No, I'm not. I want to do another one of these lists in a couple of weeks because that's another bit I want to talk about. From Texas. I just don't want people to think I'm forgetting about them. If you're watching this and you think I forgot about you, you know better than that. You know better than that.
Like, what about us?
I'm like, hold on. I got you, bro. If you're worth the shit, I'll talk about you.
100%.
And if you're not worth the shit, you'll know. No.
I'll talk about you in a different way.
Oh, shit.
Man, this last one's gonna be tough.
Oh, hold on. I am so sorry. One thing I forgot to say, dude. Like, I want
Yes.
to point out a couple of tracks. So have you heard Liberty and Justice? Do you like them?
You know what, dude? I've heard them on the stream once or twice.
Yeah.
And what you played, I dug. So, no, it's a band that I got to give a fair shake to. The Empire Down and Liberty Justice are two bands I've been meaning to.
Okay. Well, then I would start with Not Economically Viable is like one of my favorite songs. Like, it just period. Then they have a new one called No Substitute, which is really, really good.
Okay.
And they sound quite a bit different, so you get a taste of like what they're really capable of doing.
I love seeing a band.
yeah.
Involved, you know what I mean?
Yeah, so they have their newest EP is called Locked In. Go check it out. It's on Spotify. Just
Okay.
I love this guy. I love these guys and I love this band so much. Just please go support that band. They're amazing.
Absolutely will, 100%. Way to shout them out, man. Way to shout out the homies.
Oh, excuse me.
Fuck, dude. I don't even. All right.
Is one of them one we talked about last week in like a really raucous way?
Yeah, my number 5 is gonna be the Chisel. Fuck it.
Okay.
I think they kind of hit the scene in a different. You know what I mean? Like there was a bunch of like the new wave of like kind of like oi like hardcore stuff coming out.
Right.
And they just kind of like came out the cut and boom, dropped this fucking killer record that was just fucking a banger. And then they followed it up with another album that came out this year that's really, really, really good.
Two albums that are both very, very good records.
Yeah. And I just dig them, man. I think they have a really cool blend and kind of their own sound, which is their own, right? It's and the singer's voice is pretty it stands out. You know what I mean? He's got his own kind of iconic style. The guitar work is really good because it's the guy from Chubby and the Gang and all that stuff. And
they're from the UK, right?
they're from the UK, yeah.
Yeah.
So I really dug their last couple records. I mean, again, that's just one of many albums and bands of the last 5 years that kind of stuck out to me.
And I mean, you don't have to, explain yourself, man. This is your picks, dude. You can pick whatever you want. But like, I don't know that I agree that they're quite that unique, but I do agree that they're that good. And I'm not saying that to like be argumentative or whatever. I've heard bands that sound sort of like it, but they definitely do what they do, like better than most. Like when I first heard them, I was like, okay, and I ordered their first LP, which I didn't realize had been out for like a couple of years, and then all of a sudden, I think that's why I had heard about it is because they were getting ready to drop this new one, so their name was kind of just out there rolling around, right? And then I heard this new single, and then they dropped "What a Fucking Nightmare," and I was like, "Holy crap, this is like front to back, really, really solid music." And whatever they got going on outside of music is whatever. Their music is phenomenal, man. I kind of wish that drama would just go away for a while so we could just enjoy music for what it is. Whether you like, and for like whatever bands, dude, all bands involved, like I just want to listen to it. And if you don't like the music, you don't like the music. But I don't want to be influenced by outside shit. I'm so sick of that in general,
Right. So the Chisel. Also, that last record I think was released on a pop punk label, which is interesting.
Pure Noise.
Yeah.
I mean, it fits it to me. I mean, Pure Noise. I mean, yeah, it was kind of strange, actually.
They got a good end with that. That label probably has a lot of reach.
Yeah, they put out some Alkaline Trio stuff. I'd say that they're a pretty big label to me.
That's what I'm saying. So I think they made a decision to go with the label that's going to kind of jet propel them in a direction, potentially. But and again, this is one podcast of many to come with other lists.
Right.
Maybe we can hone in on like genres or something next time.
No, man, we just keep talking about 5 bands that are impactful. You know what I'm saying? I mean, there's so many, and we're doing 10 bands in this video, and we feel like we probably could do 30 a piece.
Oh, dude, definitely. I mean,
well, I've got one left that I want to talk about.
What do you got?
And I wasn't gonna not bring this up. Nobody's gonna be surprised when I bring this up. But somewhere out of Texas, dude, I honestly can't fucking tell you where they're from, man. I think they're from. Parts of them are from Houston, San Antonio, and Austin. They've got members because they're, punk rock is an incestuous genre. People will be in 6 different bands, and you'll be like, "Oh, that guy's from this guy." Like Chicago has 10 bands, but it's only got like 7 people. Like, you know what I'm saying? So, Bullshit Detector is like they're genuinely like probably my favorite band. Period. Right now, they're like the most. If I was to describe what I wanted out of a cold oi band, I would basically be describing what they sound like. I love their production quality. I like the lyrics. Richard's vocals are some of my favorite. Just the tone and the vibe that I get from their music is absolutely incredible. Again, good dudes, people I've known for a very long time. I'm very proud and honored to be working with these guys as well. So, like, I know I put on a bunch of bands that I'm working with, but it's like, well, yeah, why would I not? Why would I work with those bands and put my money into them?
Yeah.
If they weren't this important to me. And that's because that's ultimately I started with a different list, and I was like, but I wanted to talk about these bands that I'm working with because I love these dudes. And I was like, well, yeah, I mean, why would I be putting money into it if I didn't think they were that good? That would make no sense at all. So it made sense to put them on the list on the first volume of this, and then I could talk about other bands later. But yeah, I mean, they're just I don't know, man. The vocals that it's got this like anger, right? But at the same exact time, it's got pain and like vulnerability to it, and it's just you could listen to it. And then they also covered fucking Bob Seger, bro. Like, what are we doing, man? How could you can't get better than that?
They got
I would say that. They also have a song called I think the Rat King is Dead. It might be Violet Crown. There's one song that they had that has like Kron, that band Kron from France. I'll be talking about them in another video, man. They did some vocals on there. I think somebody else was on that song too. But they're just really, really great dudes, man. They play really good, dark ass music, man. It's just good, gloomy, dark oi, and it's beautiful. I fucking love it, dude. I would do anything for these guys, man. And I love their music so much. It's so good. If you want to start somewhere, just go to their Spotify, and if you go look at their top 5 songs, you can literally just start there and listen from 1 through 5, and that'll give you a really good idea of what they sound like, because it's got stuff from all their releases on it, basically. And if you like those songs, you like Bullshit Detector. And I would be shocked if you didn't. I would also say they're an anti-racist skinhead oi band, right? Like, go read the lyrics to these guys' music, man. It's really good. The lyrics are phenomenal. Go read the lyrics for all of those bands, actually. If you go check out Empire Down's lyrics, Liberty and Justice, they talk about some real important stuff, man. So I don't know if you're dejected, if you're an outcast, if you're an outsider, this shit's for you. So,
well, Bullshit Detector. I mean, I don't use Spotify as a gauge of a band's success, because fuck Spotify, but they probably deserve more than 1,500 monthly listeners.
Yes, they do. They deserve 10x that, 20x that. They'll get there, dude. They'll get there. They've got a very large and growing fan base. I hear about them. Dude, when I was in Pittsburgh walking around at the show, the fucking DJ played Liberty and Justice, and he played Bullshit Detector, like, completely out of nowhere. Blew my mind, bro. Blew my mind. I couldn't believe it. I was so happy. Like,
you recognize you were a real.
No, it wasn't. No. It had nothing to do with me, bro. He was playing some 7 inches that he had. I just thought it was awesome because these are my friends.
He likes the real shit, man.
It was really cool to have those bands being played in a place where I totally did not expect that. Like, I mean, we were at a Oi show, but fuck, dude, that tells me how big these bands really are, like, in real life. Like, when you get down to brass tacks, like, how important are these bands? Pretty fucking important. Ryan does a lot for the community. Richard is fucking amazing. So shout out to all my homies, dude. Hey, okay, real quick before we go, what are your 5 bands, just in order? Kind of tell me who they are and where they're from, and we'll get out of here.
Okay, so the first one I mentioned was Syndrome 1. They're from France. Syndrome
81.
Syndrome 81. Brest, France. Like,
yeah, very good French band.
So Syndrome 81 was one of them. Another one was Schedule 1. I think they're from Vancouver, British Columbia. I could be wrong. Homefront, another Canadian band. They're from like Calgary or Alberta. I might be fucking getting these wrong. I don't know.
It's all good. Canada.
Warthog from New York City. The Chisel are from the UK somewhere. And that's 5, right? That's 5.
Yep, that's your 5. And then my 5 was Rixe from France, Rixe for anybody's wondering. Rotten Stitches from Atlanta, street punk mixed with some like epic metal. It's really, really good stuff. Empire Down from Minnesota, Liberty and Justice out of Houston, and Bullshit Detector out of Texas, Austin, San Antonio. They're fucking amazing bands, dude. So yeah, those 10 bands. If you can't find something you like out of those 10 bands, I'll be pretty surprised. But if you can't, come back next time. We'll have 10 more for you guys.
Yep.
Yeah, let us know what you're listening to right now. What are some of the bands that are popping right now? Maybe I need to go listen to them. Maybe they'll make their way out of one of our lists. I got many, many more bands coming, man. If you're watching this and you're in a band that you think I should have mentioned, I probably will. I assure you that.
Yeah.
I put on all the homies, dude. I do.
And if you're in one of the bands that we mentioned, if on the off chance, then
if you're in one of these bands, dude, hit me up. I mean, all my homies, I'm gonna hit you up and bother you anyway, so you can get on the podcast. But like, if you're in a band that like I don't personally know and you want to do the podcast, I would be honored to have you on for an hour, man. It'd be awesome. So, yeah. Oh, dude. So we got Brad Logan coming back on the show. We got Mike Park from Asian Man Records and King of Pickle coming on. Nice. Yeah, I got some good guests coming, dude. And Nitty will be here every week or two, so it'll be a good time, man. We're having some fun. I'm gonna be doing so when you see this, I'll be in the process of working on. I was thinking about doing an Operation Ivy, just an Operation Ivy video, just because I love that band so much. And then I was gonna break down Rancid into 2 sections and do Rancid all the way up through Rancid 5, and then I'll do Indestructible through Current. And I'll do 2 sections of a Rancid video. I have to, man. I have to get it out. I've been talking about doing it, and I've been like, people are expecting it. Yeah, well,
a lot of your fans and listeners like Rancid. That's like the common thread.
Right. It really is.
Everyone. I mean, for all the stuff that we don't agree on or agree on or like, I mean, Rancid's the one band that we're all
right. Yeah, and I think I'm doing a pretty good job of my editing. I'm getting better at it, and I'm getting quicker at it, which is the main thing. And then last thing before we go, if you see a video pop up, and I'm talking to everybody, including you, Nitty, if you see a video pop up that has something about the French punk band that stole millions of dollars, I assure you it is an interesting story. It's a band called Camera Silence. They're the ones that started this shit that we're talking about now. If it wasn't for them, we wouldn't have Bullshit Detector, we wouldn't have Rixe, we wouldn't have Syndrome 81, we wouldn't have Homefront probably. There's a lot of bands that we wouldn't have if it wasn't for these guys.
Yeah.
Or they're at least in that, they're like head of that pack. They're like the godfathers of it. But anyways, there's a very interesting story that the singer was part of this giant heist, and I'm doing a really thorough video. It's probably going to be like 20 minutes in length. It has taken me weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks to work on it, and I'm going to try to start getting it finished.
I don't know much. I mean, I like the band a lot.
They're another band that has a perfect album. It's perfect.
Yeah, it's great, and they have like saxophones and shit and all sorts.
Yep, I love it, dude.
But I think that front man was quite a troubled and unique individual. Has had a lot of stories. I don't know exactly too many details about the band or him, but I've heard things about that dude. And
yeah, it's the dude. The video I'm going to be making. It's mostly going to be me talking with pictures because there's not a lot of information or video about the guy. But it is a story you're going to want to hear. It is. I'm going to do my best to narrate it very, very audibly. I want to speak and make it sound good, but like it'll mostly be me talking with some photos over it because there's just not a lot out there about the guy. But it is a story worth hearing. I can tell you that, man.
I'll see what I can find and dig up. I like to research too. So,
dude, I'm telling you, good luck. I spent weeks looking for stuff. There's just not much out there. They were around whenever they weren't. The internet wasn't around or anything like that, and he was in hiding for like 30 years. So he didn't do anything. Like I'm telling you, dude, it's going to blow your mind when I do this video. It's limited on imagery, but the story is fucking awesome.
Bananas. You know what they should do? They should find like the remaining members of the band and talk to them. somehow.
Yeah, I think that would be amazing. I would love to do that. So hopefully I can get in touch with some of them.
What happened to the Syndrome 81 guys? I thought you were supposed to talk to them.
Man, I never heard back from them, and I'm not blaming those guys. Like, dude, there's a barrier there with our language that we speak. And I talked to Jackie a bunch, and he speaks no English, bro. It was
one of those guys speaking English.
I think it's the singer, because Jackie and I were talking, and unless he was just not hearing me, because we were at a show. But speaking to dudes that are in France and stuff, it's a little difficult. I'm gonna reach out to them still. Once I get completely out of this fog I'm in, and I'm on my way, bro. And I appreciate you, man. You've reached out a number of times, and it's just been incredibly difficult on my mental, bro.
Yeah.
And I just
I bugged and emailed and stuff. So I feel like he has the information. I think maybe there's something lost in translation.
I think so too. I'll get on top of it and reach out to the guy. I want to speak to them, because I think that'd be a really great one for the channel, because a lot of my people love that band. I've sold hella records for them in my shop. So
oh really?
Dude, I've sold like 6 or 7 copies of that. I've sold more of that than I have Life Won't Wait or Out Come the Wolves.
Wow.
Yeah, maybe not. Maybe it's like neck and neck, but like that's crazy to have sold the same amount of copies as I have in Out Come the Wolves as I have some random French punk band.
It's a great record.
Yeah, it really is. So, all right, man. Awesome, dude. You want to do another week from now or 2 weeks? How about we'll see. I'll hit you up next week if you have time. We'll do it. If not,
I mean, I'm busy, but I'll make time for this.
Well, if we can keep it like an hour like this, it's pretty easy to do.
Yeah, if we can keep it just like concise and downtime, we're still rolling. You can edit this shit out.
All right, I'm gonna stop recording for everybody so they don't have to listen to this jabber. Give me 1 second before you hang up, but don't hang up quite yet. All right.
All right.
All right, everybody. Thank you so much for your time. I appreciate it. This was the Punk Rock Review Podcast. Love you guys, man. We'll see you soon.
Peace.